Hey everybody, welcome into Domesticated Gamblers. Three dads with our favorite picks of the day, coming to you each and every weekday here on YouTube. It is January 23rd, 2023. My name is Eric, that is Shawn and Tito. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It's very important. Also post a comment on our videos and we can interact with you there. Also hit that notification bell so you get our videos as soon as they're posted, like the one I got this morning. We have our very first hot toilet take from Tito. He's very, very impassioned about CYC boys basketball officiating. So make sure you check that out. We have controversy in the comments there with the South City Zebra threatening litigation. Tito, do you want to summarize that video, what it was about, or should we just tell people to go watch it?
The video is self-explanatory, and let me tell you something, South Central Zebra. Your threats, your wild accusations, they don't scare me. I know who you are. I know where you work, and you should be watching your back. Anyone else that wants to know what the hot toilet take is of the day, feel free to go to www.youtube.com/domesticatedgamblers for more action, baby.
It was a hot take, boy, coming after the Zebras right away.
It was a really stinky hot take, too, if you notice. And I'm sure you guys were well aware of where it was located. It was obviously in my toilet. I can neither conform nor deny whether or not I was dropping the boys off at the pond, okay? So let's not even get into that. Let's get to this hot recap of the weekend that was. Man, I had a hell of a weekend, boys. I can't wait to break it down with you boys.
All right, well, we're going to get to it real soon. We do have something new coming to the show.
Already.
I want to plug this and tease it because we're always getting better at teasing, right, Tito? Something new is coming to the show where you can get involved and be a part of it. More on that coming up later in this episode. You can also find us on Twitter at Gambling Dads. I always recap our plays and our records there. But before we get going on the show, we want to recap our star system. I explained this on our very first show, but I guess we actually have some people watching now, so we're going to explain it again. I think it was one of our viewers, B Fishman, is confused by this whole thing. So, Shawn, do you want to run with this, bud?
Yeah, I got a text from B Fishman. How could I go 2-2 and still profit? So I'm gonna take this back to old school math here for B Fishman, and I'm gonna pull up the whiteboard. So, Fishman, you'll see here, 1 star equals a $100 play, and then 2 stars equals 200. And 3 equals 300. So, Fishman, here's the deal, bud. If you win 200, then you win 100, you're plus 300, Fishman. Plus 300. Are you guys following along with me?
I am.
I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
So then if you lose 110 and you lose another 110, what does that equal, guys?
300 minus 110 is 190. 190 minus 110 is 80. You got 90.
Oh, this thing didn't work here.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You guys don't know what he's talking about. I thought these star plays were the amount of confidence that we were given. It wasn't anything about
you got to bring it down. You got to bring it down. So I meant to put 80 on there. It was error with this dry erase board. $80. So B Fishman, that's how you do the math. So we just want to clarify this for B Fishman so he can pick up on this. And anyone else who doesn't understand, when you bet 200, that's how that works.
So I'll give an example, Fish. It was Friday night. You put a 2-star play on the New Mexico money line in college basketball. The odds on that were minus 155. You made it a 2-star play. So if you multiply 155 by 2, you were risking $310 to win $200. So
correct.
You won that play. So you profited $200, but if you would have lost it, you would have lost $310. So that's the way it works on minus money plays. We have a great example of a plus money play from this weekend from our friend Tito. So on 1-star plus money plays, you are risking $100. So for example, Tito, you had a 1-star play on a man by the name of Brandon Moreno in the UFC on Saturday night. And the bet was to win by KO. TKO, or DQ. It was priced at plus 550. So you were risking $100 to win 550. Tito, what happened in that fight? I think I missed it.
That's what he won there.
That's right, baby. Moreno knocked him out, baby. TKO couldn't continue. Moreno slapped that guy around. He was getting showered with water bottles, with drinks. It was a sorry sight to finish a UFC event. But let me tell you something. Tito Cash, baby, and that's what it's all about. Tito knows what he's doing. Plus 550 for Moreno. You gotta love it, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Somehow Tito cashes a plus 550, yet still loses on the weekend. And we are going to get into that right now. So let's recap the weekend. I actually think after 1 week on the show, it's pretty much what I expected. Like, Shawn is winning. I am treading water. And Tito has been an absolute roller coaster, but ultimately you are still losing. So let's start with you, Tito. You started the weekend at minus $110. On Saturday, the roller coaster began. You lost your 2-star bet on Mahomes to throw an interception, but you won on the Jags plus 9. Then you got just crushed on the Giants game like we all did, but it was a 3-star loser for you. That dropped you to minus 540 on the year. But then the Moreno fight happened. You went from minus 540 to plus 10. So you went to bed on Saturday night actually ahead, $10 overall. But then the roller coaster came to a crashing conclusion. 3-star play on the Bills yesterday. You lost that. Now you start this week down $320 overall. So Tito, how are you feeling today after that up and down weekend?
Man, I feel great. I cashed my 550 play, baby. That's what I was talking about the entire show on Friday, baby. This was a great weekend for Tito. I cashed my big UFC play. I told you all that UFC and WWE was where my niche was going to be, and that's exactly what happened this weekend, baby. I love it. I feel great after the weekend, man. Cashed my big play. People capitalized on what I was talking about on Friday. The content that I provided in regards to what Moreno had done the last 4 fights, I provided that stat and all those things to prove that my Moreno play was 100% spot on. And so I feel great. It was an awesome weekend for me.
You know, when we first dove into this show, you said stats don't matter. I don't believe in stats. I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's what matters. So now, are you going to admit that stats do matter?
I never once said that stats did not matter. This is this revisionist history by this clown, and I can't stand for it. Obviously, I mean this is just a cold take. If you want more of the Tito's hot toilet takes, be on the lookout on our YouTube channel, baby. Because guess what, my take was perfectly exact, on time, on point, and man, it was just a great weekend for Tito. Let's move on to let's
I
talk
had
more
some fan
about that.
interaction about your guarantees. Your guarantees that the Giants are going to the Super Bowl, baby. I've got, this fan Shawn, we'll call him. He said you guaranteed they're going to win. He did fade you and cashed in that he would like to thank you.
Hey, listen, I never said my takes were going to be 100% on point every time, but
But a
I
guarantee is a
told the
pretty
fans
strong
I
word.
told the fans to fade Tito. I told them on Thursday to fade me, and that's exactly what this guy did. Kudos to him for fading me. Listen, Daniel Jones didn't perform, right? He didn't come through. Van Dable, hey, it didn't he didn't measure up to the great coaches in the NFL like Andy Reid. Not like Kyle Shanahan, but like Andy Reid, baby. So listen, my giant take, it didn't happen, didn't pan out. It doesn't change the fact that I still wear my heart in my sleeve,
Mahomes' take
and my
didn't pan out.
takes are on fire. And listen,
Allen
I'm
take
ready to
didn't
provide
pan
more
out.
hot takes later on this week.
I mean, you got to agree with me, Eric. Has any guarantee been cashed from Tito?
Yeah,
Yep.
I would say the guarantee's been cashed, but Tito, like in a moment of seriousness, I give you props on the plus 550 bet that you cashed. So I had a bet on that fight too. I took the guy I can't pronounce, Figgy, just because I was tailing some guy that I trust. Apparently I shouldn't trust him that much because I lost both UFC fights. But you said something in your handicap that gave me pause. I'm like, oh shit, like I think he's onto something. You said Figgy typically fights like once a year. And Moreno, I think this is going to be like his 3rd fight in the last 12 months. And you said, I think Figgy's been ducking Moreno. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea about that. Like, I think you're onto something there. And I was following the fight on Saturday night, and I'm like, God damn it, Tito, he took it down plus 550. So like, I was going to ask each of you guys, like, what did you learn this weekend about yourself? Like, what gambling lessons did you learn? And Tito, I mean, you can speak for yourself, but I'll start for you. I think you may have found your sweet spot. WWE and UFC. I think you're a sharp, man. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it kind of goes to your point in regards to just doing a little bit of research and not providing all these hot takes. I mean, I got hot takes for UFC, I got hot takes for WWE, but when you do a little bit of research, it does come through for you. And so that just proves the point even more for Moreno for my great take. I mean, I'm well knowledgeable, I'm well versed on that. So guess what? I'm going to keep on taking advantage of that. It's just like what I was saying all week last week. I told you I'm not a sharp on NFL. I told you I wasn't as sharp with basketball. When I made my Lindenwood play, which was a ridiculous play, that was me being a homer, me being an alumnus. And so guess what? I'm going to stick to what counts for me, baby. And that's WWE and MMA. And the other
I knew you were gonna
fade
get on
Tito,
here.
baby.
You're gonna
Fade
get
him.
on
I've
here.
been telling that from the very
And
beginning.
everything, all these hot takes last week, you guaranteed this, guaranteed Allen, guaranteed Mahomes is a fraud. I knew you're going to get on here and back down from all your guarantees and tuck your tail between your legs and hide like the fraud you are.
I'm not hiding it right here. What about you having these two, having this so-called joker that you call me and Eric talk you into a play with the Giants, and that didn't cash either. We talked you into that so-called sharp, yeah, Sharpie, Shawn. Yeah, you got talked into a play, you lost money. So I don't even bring up the fact that I'm coming back. I'm right here. I'm taking the heat. I told you my Giants play was not good. I told you I'm going to stick to MMA and WWE. You can leave me alone, baby.
I mean, I think Tito brings up a good point. You guys are landing haymakers right now between the two of you. This is a battle. Because this segues to Shawn, your recap for the weekend. You started going into Friday night, you were plus $790. You won that two-star play in New Mexico on the money line on Friday night. That was super sharp, dude. I didn't know if you noticed this. They did not cover, but they won on the money line. So that was it. That was a super sharp play by you.
So I think that makes me still undefeated in college basketball.
I believe that is correct. But then you lost both bets on Saturday on the Chiefs and the Giants, as Tito referenced. Of course, those were the two games you did not want to bet, but we peer pressured you into doing it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you won your best bet, a two-star play in Cincinnati. Then you lost your one-star play with the Cowboys +4. So overall for the weekend, going into Friday, you ended up making a profit. You went 1-3 in the NFL, but you still turned that profit because of those two-star wins on New Mexico and on the Bengals. So you start this week at plus 860. So Shawn, how do you feel about the weekend and the week ahead?
So talking about those football games, if we had a healthy Patrick Mahomes, we're covering easily. That was going to be a blowout. Everyone saw it. If you watch the game at all, I know CYC over here, he didn't get a chance to watch the game, but without a healthy Mahomes, Jacksonville had a shot to win that game, and Lawrence has no one to blame but himself. 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were right in that game. That was a great game because Mahomes was hurt. Without Mahomes being hurt, we're looking at a blowout, just like the Eagles game probably. Maybe a little closer, maybe 35-21. And then Dallas last night. What's the kickoff returner doing? He goes to the right. He's gone. He runs into Gold. He runs into him. What's this guy thinking? Cut it outside, take that to the house, and we got an easy cover in that game. Also, Dak, 2 interceptions. He ended up costing me. And also the Zebras. You want to talk about Zebras last night? Defensive holding? Come on. And then Kittle gets called. They call Kittle down there. He's not even involved in that play. So the process was still right, even on the games that I lost, besides the Giants game. But the process, I mean, really, when we talk about it, like, Eric, wouldn't you agree 9 times out of 10 on the Mahomes game? I mean, we can't predict injuries. That looked like a cover there.
That's the one that I do agree with you with. I think of Mahomes. It's exactly what I was thinking. It felt like a 2-touchdown game if Mahomes is healthy for the whole game.
And then also the kicker situation with Dallas. There was a point in the game, it was 4th and 5. Dallas could have kicked a field goal, and they went for it. Dak got the first down with his legs, but then on the next play, he threw an interception inside the 30. So we would have gotten 3 points with, if Maher would have been able to make a kick. And it was such a strange decision. He doesn't kick the field goal there, but then later in the game, he gives him confidence and he kicks the field goal. What was going on there?
That goes back to McCarthy being a terrible head coach, right? I mean, that's the thing. Wouldn't rely on him after that first field goal miss that was blocked, and then coming back and kind of revisionist history. I mean, they still got the first down. They still got the first down, 4th and 5. But to your point, Shawn, Dak, man, what an embarrassment! What a
Yeah.
fraud! There was a bunch of fraud quarterbacks this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, you called it. Dak's turnover. He led the league in picks, and you said, Shawn, if he turns the ball over, they're going to lose, and that's exactly what happened.
I mean, we had a tied game, and 49ers got some calls late in that drive to score that touchdown. I thought Dallas played phenomenal on defense. The offense struggled, but 49ers have the top defense in the league for a reason. But Dallas was in that game, so like I said, 9 times out of 10, those 2 bets still cash.
Yeah, so a lot of disappointing weekend for you in the NFL, but still, like I said, you started 790 heading into Friday, and you're sitting here at 860 on Monday morning, so a profit. What would you say you learned this weekend? What gambling lessons would you take from this weekend, Shawn?
Don't let your buddies talk you into the Giants and taking Kansas City, because if you go back and rewind that show from Friday, I say Kansas City's not an official play. You guys, come on. So peer pressure got me on the YouTube show here. But I'll get back to being myself, and I should have just played the Bengals. That was really the only game I really loved. But hey, this is for fun, and I'm having a good time with you boys. And I learned to not listen to this joker on this peer pressure about the Giants. They were the frauds I thought they were.
Well, indeed they were. I think I might have also talked to you out of the teaser with the Chiefs and the Eagles. That cashed. I thought that was about as Joe public as you can get. You've been telling me that no, the Sharps are on this thing too, and that cash. So that's another thing I might have talked to you out of.
Yeah, I was listening to some sports talk radio guy I listened to in Vegas, and the books got crushed on that teaser. They got absolutely murdered.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, I guess we'll move on to me. Man, this show is going to take forever. But I turned a profit this weekend too. I started out at minus $110. A real tough day on Saturday. I did cash the under on that Kansas City Jacksonville game. But then I lost the Giants bet and I lost both UFC main events. Just so stupid that I bet those. But big day yesterday, big bounce back. I swept the board. Wins on my bets on the Bengals and on the under in the Cowboys-Niners game. Also cashed my first soccer play yesterday. The over 3 in the Bayer Leverkusen game. There were 5 goals in that one. So after all that, I made $90 on the weekend. And I'm 5-5. I'm only down $20 overall as we start the new week. What I learned this weekend, I learned not to bet on people where I can't pronounce their names. I put out those 2 plays in the UFC. They were big fights. I thought, let's get some action on those. Just dumb. I became like, I broke one of my commandments. Don't bet on a game just because it's on TV or just because it's a big game. And I lost a couple 1-star plays because of it. Another thing I learned, and Shawn, I think you are turning me on to this, where I don't usually pay a lot of attention to the injury report as much as I should when it comes to handicapping games. I was on the Giants for several reasons, but maybe the top reason was because I thought Hurts was still going to be injured, but he was not listed on the injury report all week. I should have, picked up on that. He looked great, and the Giants just got boat raced. So I think I'm just going to pay more attention to the injury reports moving forward, especially this week on Mahomes. We'll talk more about this game later in the week. I just think it's going to be tough to make a play in that game right now until you know more about his situation, how he looks in practice. You disagree? You think it's bad news right now, huh?
I'm firing away at Cincy right now. Get the best of this number. The number is only going to go the other way. So we'll get into it later in the show.
Are you releasing a play?
Well, we'll get into our plays. We'll get
into
them.
All right. I like this. Wow, man, I'm excited for this. Okay. Let's just get into a little bit more about the game. We've already talked a little bit about them, but takeaways from them. Saturday, Chiefs 27, Jags 20. Jags cover with the last minute field goal. Eagles 38. Yeah, good hit, Tito. Eagles 38, Giants 7. The Giants just absolutely destroy the show. We lost a combined 5.5 units on that game. So, Tito, any thoughts on Mahomes, the injury, your boy Daniel Jones? Let's start with you. What did you take away from Saturday?
There was not going to be any amount. There was going to be a lot of hot takes here, so everybody buckle up. Mahomes, fraud. What a fraud he is. Oh, I'm limping. He's always freaking limping. He's always limping after he gets hit. Always limping, sliding. Always limping, getting rolled up on. Whatever. Yeah, sure, he's hurt. I bet he is hurt. But his reaction on when he was on the sideline, complete fraud, terrible teammate. I want to hear this crap about how great of a teammate he is. I watched the post game interview that they did on CBS between him and Kelsey, and talking about how best friends they are. Well, that was such a fraud interview. I can't believe it. The dude's not really that hurt. He's okay. Henny comes in, 98 yards, takes him into a touchdown, and then Mahomes comes into halftime, imposes his will on Andy Reid, on the chief organization. I need to get back in this game. This is the only way we're going to win this game. What a fraud. What a terrible teammate. Support Henny. Henny just drove down and scored a touchdown. He just did exactly what you couldn't do to the Jacksonville defense. And then he throws this touchdown at the end of the no, but you hold on. Then he throws this touchdown at the end of the game, and Chris Collins was like, "Oh my goodness, look at this guy! He just did a jump pass with a broken ankle. He didn't even jump. It was a fraud. It was terrible. This guy, he can't do anything right. And I can't wait for this Sunday. Joe Burrow is going to go into Kansas City and line them up. This is a lock of all locks. Joe Burrow is the face of the NFL. This guy has it. It's going to be a huge play. I'm going to kind of go into the Buffalo Bills a little bit here. Josh Allen, man, that guy is also a complete fraud. And if Burrow goes and wins the Super Bowl this year, you have Mahomes who won a Super Bowl. You have Burrow who would end up maybe possibly winning the Super Bowl. What has Josh Allen done? He's just laid egg after egg after egg in Buffalo. They should be calling for his head right now. Fraud. Daniel Jones is a fraud. Man, what a terrible weekend of games for the NFL. And Mahomes solidified his status with me as being a complete fraud.
I'd like to talk about that Henny drive. 4 plays into it, he was almost intercepted. So that could have went completely the opposite way. If you watched that drive, I know you were at CYC, you didn't really get to watch it.
Coulda, shoulda, would have. I was watching the game.
You got to really
Tell
watch
me where I was
to know what's going on. Henny does not give them the best chance to win. What a gutsy performance by Mahomes, the MVP of the league. He was clearly injured. Anyone who watched the injury could tell. I mean, this guy acting like he's not injured, that's just get on the toilet with that take.
It was a helmet to helmet. Show me any evidence there was a helmet to helmet hit. That's a terrible take too. You blow up my phone while I'm helping Coach CYC, telling me a helmet to helmet. What a terrible miscall NFL.
So just like Skip Bayless, you're cutting me off. I let you give you your rant, and you cut me off. It's typical, you got to be the loud one in the room. But anyways, Josh Allen, hero ball. I talked about it last week. He wants to play hero ball. He wants to take big shots down the field. And in the playoffs, that doesn't win. Why has Tom Brady been so successful? Stick to the game script. That way, in the fourth quarter, you can still run the ball for big chunks. Buffalo, they don't impose their will on anyone. They want to play what I call it's an Aaron Rodgers ball. It's run around and try to make a play. Patrick Mahomes can do this because they stick to a game plan and they still run the ball.
Wolf. What a bunch of wolf that was. Terrible take. Tom Brady only won his Super Bowls because he had the best head coach of all time. Don't even compare Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes. What a joker.
Well, and then also, what were you talking about there with Tom Brady? He won in Tampa Bay without Belichick.
The best coach of all time.
Tito, you're under attack. You're under attack behind you. Look, there's a child.
Oh my goodness, what's up? Oh, that's my son Harrison. He's 3 years old. I gotta help him with his iPad. Here, there you go, big guy. Go watch it upstairs, okay, bud?
I can't believe this guy says about Brady. I mean, he went to Tampa Bay and proved everyone wrong. Wasn't the coach?
He did not. He had an all-star team in Tampa Bay. Give me a break. Had a great defense. Had Mike Evans. Had Chris Goodwin. Had Leonard Fournette. Get me out of here. Gronk. Get out of here.
This has been proven. If you give Bill Belichick Mac Jones and that supporting cast, he ain't so smart anymore. I think they've actually overachieved. I think, obviously, yes, he's probably the
great coach. He's a great coach. They've overachieved.
He's a great coach. But Brady did not win because of Belichick. If anything, I think it's the other way around. Symbiotic relationship for sure. But, man, Brady, he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT. I'd say one of my takeaways from this weekend that it pissed me off, really. Like, I was talking all week long about how there's no way both one seeds were going to cover. And then I passed on Kansas City, Jacksonville on the side because you talked me out of it, Shawn. And then I take the Giants. So I miss out on the pick that would have won in the Jags. And I picked the loser in the effing Giants. God, that just pissed me off so much.
But at the same time, if Mahomes doesn't get hurt, I'm pretty sure that would have been both ones covering.
Yeah, and then I was gonna put another auto bet on the Giants. So thank God the Jags hit that field goal. I would have lost another unit. By the way, I didn't see most of the Giants game. I know I was so excited to watch it, but we're domesticated after all. So we had an impromptu night out with a couple friends and their kids, and it was Tim and Katie, guys, and you'll love this. So we go out to dinner Saturday night, having a great time, and they're like, "Hey, Annabelle, she's got an indoor soccer game at 8 p.m. tonight. You want to come? They have a bar there." And we're like, "Oh, sure, yeah, let's go. Let's go check out a 7-year-old girls soccer game and have some alcohol. That sounds like fun." So we get a drink, we're hanging out, getting ready to watch the game, and of course, my brain turns to gambling. And I asked Timmy, I'm like, "Hey, if you were to set an over/under for this game, like, what would it be?" And he's like, probably 7. Like these games are usually about 4-3 or so. And I kid you not, the final score of the game, 4-3.
4-3.
It was amazing, amazing. But it was a lot of fun. By the time we got home, it was 28-7 Philly, and that was that. By the way, on the topic of child sports, Tito, you said last week, and I quote, "You're going to have some hot CYC 6th grade boys action for us this week." Would you like to elaborate on that so you don't get sent to prison?
Yeah, sorry about that. Poor choice of words by the tagger, and so I do apologize for that. I was talking about actual games, CYC basketball games, 6th grade boys basketball games. I do apologize. I never meant to offend anyone. If I did, I do sincerely apologize. And so yeah, poor choice of words. I'll have some of that later on this week. I know several other domesticated dads that watch the show religiously. They're really looking forward to it. I'm sure the South Side Zebra is going to be looking forward to it. I can't wait to release those plays later on this week.
Speaking about domesticated dads who watch the show, maybe you want to dive into our new feature of the show, Eric.
Yeah, let me fast forward to that. I had something written down for it so I don't screw it up. So, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. Before we do anything else, this is something new. We're gonna try it here on the show, where you, the viewer, can get involved on the show. So starting right now, we're starting a contest for Fan of the Week, where we'll have one fan on the show with us every Friday. So B. Fishman, T-Pain, Rocky Mountain Steve, Tiger, the South City Zebra, Swan, all you guys, anyone out there, if you want to be our fan of the week, you need to be subscribed to our YouTube channel and then post a comment on here saying you want to be our fan of the week and why. We're going to choose one person each week. That person can come on the show on Friday. Just jack around with us a little bit, give your own picks for the weekend. We may implement some prizes at some point. We're going to see how that goes. We may end up just hating this altogether and scrapping the idea completely, to be quite honest. But we're going to try it out. So again, subscribe to our channel, post a comment, and you can be a fan of the week here on Domesticated Gamblers. Guys, are we going to regret this, or is this a good idea?
No, and also when we talked about fan of the week is come on the show Friday, give your 3 picks. You can go against me, Tito, or Eric. And I say if you tie one of the hosts, we get the win, home field advantage. So you'd have to beat us. And then we'll go from there. I think it's a good idea. I think fans they want to interact with the show. I love the idea. I think the more viewers we can get who interact with us, the better.
Terrible. Can't stand it. This is our show. Everyone else to leave us alone. Let us deliver these hot, steamy takes, and let me get some spotlight for myself. I don't need another guy coming on here. I already got 2 jokers trying to plot against me, trying to tell me my takes aren't hot, trying to tell me that my plays are not right. So get out of here with this. Terrible. But whoever comes on Friday, you're really gonna get a whooping from Tito. I'll tell you that right now. So be very scared. Ooh.
Is it hard for you to fit through that door with your ego?
Oh, you shut your mouth. Your ego's so wide. $600 haircut, domesticated dad. Oh, go to Monster Jam. I watched all the games this weekend too. I was coaching CYC. I was helping run leagues. I was watching all these games on my phone. to go with the Times Joker.
Glad I didn't have to bring my phone with me to watch that Eagles game, by the way.
It was a disaster, absolute disaster. I will say probably the leader in the clubhouse for fan of the week, if he does subscribe and comment on this video. I think Friday could be quite the showdown between Tito and the South City Zebra. I'd be really looking forward to that. So make sure if you want to be our fan of the week, subscribe to our channel and comment on this video here. Let's move on to the Sunday games. Some takeaways from there. Bengals 27, Bills 10. My takeaway, Joe Burrow is still a gangster. And then we had San Francisco 19, Dallas 12, the Niners cover. I think the bigger story, though, that clinched a perfect weekend for the unders. And I'm going to toot my own horn here because I nailed that last week on my analysis. I cashed a couple plays on it. Overs went 5-1 in the first round. The public, according to the Action Network, was on the over in every single game this weekend, and the public absolutely got crushed by being prisoner of the moment and betting overs. So toot my own horn on that. Shawn, I'll start with you on this one. What did you take away, big picture from the two games yesterday?
Well, like I talked about last week, toot my own horn, is Joe Burrow gets rid of the ball. Second fastest in the NFL. So the offensive line problems really didn't matter. He was chewing up Buffalo all day. Quick passes. And that opened up the running game. Mixon was running like a wild man. Tito said he was injured. He looked great to me. I really like Cincinnati, but it's starting to scare me when I hear Tito's giving guarantees again now about Burrow. So whenever I hear that, immediately I think Joe Public, oh no, what am I doing? So we're going to hold off on that play, and I'm going to have to dig into this a little more research because as soon as he said that, oh, it shook me to my core. Shook me.
Oh man, you gotta stay with me on this, man. It's evident this guy's a winner. This is all this guy does is win. I mean, it was so impressive him to go into Buffalo and just dominate that team. To your points, Buffalo hadn't been playing good for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and so but Joe Burrow, I mean, I can't tip my cap more to him for what he's done over the last several years, right? I mean, it's been truly remarkable. And I honestly do think that we're seeing a Bengals Eagles Super Bowl. I mean, that's Hurts is healthy, Burrow is just fire, and I don't see anyone stopping him. I really don't. So I do apologize to all those sharps out there that want to fade Joe Public. This is what my eyes are telling me. But man, he was truly impressive yesterday. It was remarkable.
That San Francisco game, too, Purdy threw a lot of balls in Dallas's hands, and they didn't hold on to him. So I could see the Eagles definitely winning this game. They got a great defense. They can run the ball. Hurts looks great. I do like Eagles, Bengals, too, Tito. Good point.
Yeah, I'm waiting that way, too. I said last week, I said the winner of the 49ers-Cowboys game is going to go to the Super Bowl again. That was under the assumption Hurts was injured, and I just was totally, totally wrong on that. I really think Niners-Eagles, it's a toss-up to me. Chiefs-Bengals, I'm leaning Bengals, but again, with Mahomes, I want to wait to see. We have a ton of time to talk about these games. I don't really want to get into them today, or else we'll be here all day again. Anything else, guys, to add on Sunday before we get to the picks for today?
No, it was. I thought it was good. I thought the Cowboys and the Niners was the best game of the weekend.
Boy, and that's not saying much. I was kind of disappointed by everything. It was, I guess that was by definition the closest game. I guess Jags Chiefs finished at 7 as well. But it just, again, I missed the Giants game, thank God. But, I think we could be due for some classics next week. Let's hope so. Quick look at the lines. Eagles -2.5, total of 45.5. Bengals and Chiefs. Is this right? The Bengals are favored now by 1?
It's moving quick.
Wow. Total set at 47. Man, oh man. I don't know. That's very, very interesting. I did not think it was going to come out that, but here we are. All right, let's get into the picks. I actually have the honors because I won the most money over the weekend. I'm 5-5 overall, down $20. I have one pending play. My bet on Djokovic to win the Australian Open still alive. He advanced to the quarterfinals overnight, no sweat at all. So I still have that one-star play pending at -110. I looked this morning; he's now -220 to win the tournament. So love my position there. I have one bet tonight in the NHL. I'm going to play a recommendation from one of our viewers by the name of Godson Ty. So Godson Ty is a big hockey guy. He's done really well in NHL overs. in his gambling career. So we are going to go over 6.5 on Sabres and Stars tonight. It's at minus 121 on Bet Rivers. That's a 1-star play. Let's go Godson tie. I also have 2 more 1-star plays in soccer for you with games that go on tomorrow afternoon. And those games will start before we do tomorrow's show. So I'm going to give them out now and buckle up because you're going to be here for a bit. So if I bore you, I'm sorry. But if you want winners, I'm just saying I've been very successful in soccer the last few years. So I'm very confident, I can help you profit long-term in soccer. And money's money, right? Doesn't matter what sport it is. So, no play is a guarantee, of course. But I have 2 picks I really like tomorrow. First, we are heading over to Serie A in Italy. Tomorrow, 1:45 Central, it's AC Milan on the road at Lazio. We're going to go with the over 2.5 goals at minus 110 on FanDuel. We're going to start with the home team, Lazio. The over 2.5 has gone 10-8 in their league games this season, including 6-3 at home. I know that's good, not great, but it gets better when you look at AC Milan. There have been at least 3 goals in 12 of AC Milan's last 14 league matches. And overall for the season, the over 2.5 has gone 13-5 in AC Milan games. So when you combine these 2 teams, the over 2.5 is cashed in 64% of their Serie A games. Also, since coming back from the World Cup break, each team has played 3 matches. There have been over 2.5 goals in 5 of those 6 games. And these teams have a recent history of high-scoring matches. Over 2.5 goals is cashed in 6 of their last 7 meetings. So we are going over 2.5 goals between Lazio and AC Milan. It's a minus 110 on FanDuel. Again, that's Serie A in Italy. That game is tomorrow at 1:45 Central. One more play, and Tito, I'm going to nerd out on the Bundesliga again. The first Bundesliga.
Not the second Bundesliga.
First Bundesliga. So this is one of my favorite soccer bets to make. So, Shawn, I think you're going to like this one. I almost always get plus money on this. So I want to make sure I explain this to the audience. So the game is tomorrow at 1:30 Central. It's Bayern Munich hosting Cologne. The play is Bayern Munich -1 in the first half at plus 114 on Bovada. So a little background. So Bayern Munich is like by far the best team in the Bundesliga. Like they're currently minus 5,000 to win the title. It's a joke. Like it's not even close. This would be their 11th consecutive year they've won the title. So they're just on a different level from most of these other teams. And Bayern, they just do not go winless 2 games in a row. They just had a 1-1 draw in their last game at RB Leipzig, who is one of the top teams in the league. So Bayern's probably a little bit pissed off. They're going up against a Cologne team that's very average. They're in 11th place out of 18. So, and Shawn, this is the key point here. I don't want to deal with the full game because they're going to have to win by 3 to cash. I just think there's not enough value there. So again, this bet is Bayern Munich -1 in the first half. That means you cannot lose if Bayern is leading at the half. If they're up by 1, it's a push. If they're up by 2 or more, you win. And so the math on this is Bayern's last 9 Bundesliga games, this bet has only lost 1 time. And it's won 5 times, and it's pushed 3 times. If you made this bet in all 16 of their league games this season, you'd have only lost 4 times with 8 wins and 4 pushes. So you've only lost this bet 4 times out of 16 games. That's 25%. And with 8 wins in 16 games, you've cashed 50% of the time. I'm getting plus money here. Like that means you have value. So the bet is Bayern Munich -1 in the first half, plus 114 on Bovada. It's the Bundesliga in Germany, first Bundesliga game tomorrow at 1:30 Central. I will now stand down. Shawn, be honest. Was that boring or was that good information?
No, I thought it was great information. That's the edges that we're bringing here. Eric, like I talked to you about, I thought you were pretty sharp in college basketball, but over the last 2 years, the amount of soccer you've been watching and taking in, it's just, that's where your edge now. It just seems like it really is. It's not boring to me at all. It's a sport that I need to get into a little more, especially with St. Louis getting a team here. So I like it. I love it.
Tito, what'd you think?
My head's spinning. I don't even know half the stats that you just provided, but whatever your play was, I'm going to play. If I was a gambling man, I'd be playing it because you provided a lot of different stats, a lot of different information. But man,
Finally,
If
this
you asked
guy's
me to repeat that, man, I'd be shaking in my boots more than I would be when I see Southside Zebra at the next CYC basketball game. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, make sure if you did miss it, if you need to listen to it again, just rewind the video. You can do that. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment on this video. You can be our fan of the week. Again, my soccer plays, there's no guarantees. It's a 2-game small sample size tomorrow, so don't give me any crap if they both lose or if they whatever. So we all know this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so and if you don't know that, you really shouldn't be gambling, like for real. Shawn, you're up next. 9-5 on the year, plus $860. What bets do you have for us today? Do we have an NFL play already here on Monday?
Well, not with the line already moved. I was hoping to get it at Bengals plus 1.5. So we'll wait on that. We'll see where this line ends up shaking out because I'm sure now the money's going to come back to Kansas City. So let's just kind of wait on that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Tito really scared me off, but this time of year, the public does win. They can win this time of year. So maybe he's right. I want to give a shout out to Rocky Mountain Steve calling us out after a couple bad plays. Come on, guy, give us a break. Like Eric said, this is a grind. It's not one day off to a bad start. What about Eric said I'm 9-5. You don't talk about those 9 wins. So come on, Rocky Mountain Steve, give us a break.
Oh my goodness, get your feelings hurt a little bit more. Get out of here with this stuff. Don't let the viewers affect your attitude. You keep on piling through, baby. Come on, a little advice from Tito here. Come on, you fine. Come on, just keep going with what you're doing.
And then also,
some of the time it works half the
got a
time.
couple Living fans out there I'd like to give a shout out to. T-Pain, the Tagger. You guys are really following the show. We're getting text messages and comments, informational text that you've been watching the show. So we really appreciate that. We appreciate your support, and hopefully this thing keeps growing. Anyway, let's get into our picks for me. I'm going to take KU, baby, tonight. Getting 2.5. You can get that at FanDuel. Kansas lost 2 games in a row at K-State, and then TCU went in there and shocked the world, baby. But I think tonight they get it right. Give me the 2.5 at Baylor. That's going to be a good game, but I'll take the points in a close game. And then also, Eric will like this. I'm going to take Hartford plus 16.5. You can get that at FanDuel plus 16.5. And also, I did mention I'm going to go a 2-star play on Kansas tonight. I really like that play, and then Hartford's going to be a 1-star play.
All right, yeah, it's very rare you get points when you're with Bill Self. So this is I'm really torn in this game. The Tagger, one of our loyal listeners, is a KU grad. He lives just outside Lawrence. He follows the Jayhawks closely. He did give me some information tonight that scared me off this game. I'm totally with you, Shawn. That was my initial lean, is like, this is the epitome of all bounce back spots for KU. But they have a guy by the name of Grady Dick. Yes, that is his real name, Grady Dick.
Wonder what his unit size is.
Yeah, I'd say large to quite large, perhaps. But he has been in a horrible shooting slump these last 2 games. KU's dropped these last 2 games. If he's not right, I don't think they can beat Baylor. Baylor's number 2 in KenPom. They're the number 2 best, second best offensive team in the country, according to KenPom. Baylor's going to score a ton tonight. If KU has their best shooter that's in a slump, they're not going to be able to keep up. So that scared me off this game, but I agree with you. If forced to bet it, you're getting points with Bill Self. Take it.
Yeah, and also, Baylor scores 79.6 points per game and KU 76.3. So it's not that far off. I think Kansas gets it right. Self's too good of a coach.
All right,
Not even close. They didn't even shock. You talking about TCU shocking the world yesterday or on Saturday at Allen Fieldhouse. It wasn't shocking the world. They beat them by like 18 or 19 points. It wasn't even close. It was complete domination. Self does not got this team right. Like Eric said, Grady Dick is in a horrible shooting slump. Man, this is a terrible take. This is another one he's going to lose, and he's going to start talking about how much money he's won previously. Don't worry about the unit sizes. Don't worry about the 1 or 2-star or 3-star play. This is a terrible play for Shawn.
Put your money where your mouth is, Tito. Put your money where your mouth is. You want to go up against him? You want Baylor minus 2.5?
Listen, you ain't gonna scare me into making a play, baby. I got my own play that I'm gonna hammer home here in a minute. So you're not gonna tell me to do it. No. I'm fine where I'm at. I'm just giving my opinion on what a terrible fraud this is a move for Fish. I can't believe it.
Now, this will be
And you're
fun to
supposed
talk
to be the
about
shark.
tomorrow. This will be very, very fun to talk about tomorrow with the
Go
Jayhawks
by
plus
Sharpie
2.5.
Shawn, actually, you know.
What'd you say?
I go by
Sharpie
Sharpie
Shawn.
Shawn.
Give me a break.
All right, so just recap, Shawn, then we'll move on to you, Tito, because you want that camera time. KU plus 2.5, 2-star play. Hartford plus 16.5, 1-star play. Shawn putting his undefeated college basketball record on the line tonight. All right, Tito, 2-4 overall, down $320. You have one pending play. Royal Rumble this Saturday. Anyone outside the WWE roster to enter the Royal Rumble, you have no at plus 150 at a 2-star play. The floor is yours, sir. What do you have for us?
That's looking even better and better too, baby. So much uncertainty with the WWE. But let me tell you something. Here's what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble this Saturday. Okay, folks? Cody Rhodes has already announced he's coming back. And the rumor is he's number 3. And guess what? He's favored to win. I think the stats on BetOnline.ag is minus 120, minus 130, something like that.
Minus 160. Minus 160.
Minus 160. So he's a clear odds-on favorite, right? There's no chance he's not. They've put so much hype into him whenever he came back at WrestleMania last year. What's going on now? Having been injured, documenting the road to recovery for him. He's going to come back at Royal Rumble. He's going to go ahead and win the Rumble. Clearly, the odds are stating that. Well, guess what? If he's coming in number 3, he's going to be in the Rumble for a very long time. And for you wrestling fans, we all know what the Iron Man in the Rumble is. But for you non-wrestling fans, that means whoever's in the Rumble the longest amount of time is going to actually be in, has spent the most amount of time in. And the odds-on favorite to plus 100 for Cody Rhodes to be the Iron Man in the Rumble. It's a great odds. It's great stats, especially if Cody's coming in at number 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that bet. We're going to take the bet. We're going to add plus 100. It's a 2-star play for Cody Rhodes to be the Iron Man in the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. He's going to come in at number 3. For you wrestling fans out there, you remember what happened 31 years ago. The Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! He came out, baby, styling and profiling. And the Royal Rumble in 92 was for the WWF Championship. Well, guess what? Ric Flair was the Iron Man that year. He made it all the way through, eliminated a bunch of different performers, and he won the World Wrestling Federation Championship that night. And guess what? He went on the main event WrestleMania. Same thing's going to happen 31 years later with Cody Rhodes coming in at number 3, shocking the world, going on to WrestleMania, probably going to face Roman Reigns. Don't believe the hype. The Rock is not coming back to WrestleMania in Inglewood. He's not. Not happening this year. It's Cody Rhodes' time. Cody Rhodes coming in, shocking the world, going to win the Rumble, going to go on to WrestleMania and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to honor the legacy of the late, great American Reed, Dusty Reed Rhodes, baby, if you will. So, yeah, mark it. 2-star play, Iron Man, Cody Rhodes.
So your takes are about predetermined sports.
This guy, get out of there with the predetermined sports thing.
You want to come after my
take? It's a bet.
You can bet
anything you want to bet.
Sport over here, bud.
It's it's a predetermined sports entertainment, baby. But guess what? They're making money. They're making money. They're cashing checks. They're all about bets, baby.
Tito is the fraud.
What fraud am I? What fraud am I talking about?
Last
You're
week
the one
about
that's
all
doing
these
it.
frauds. Nothing came true.
This guy is terrible. This guy should have a sponsor called Toilet Takes, not Tito. Tito's takes are fantastic. They're great. They're informed. Guess what? These are where my edges are. I need more screen time. You jokers can get out of here. And let's not bring on a fan of the week on Friday. I'm the full show of this. It's not you two guys. All these stats, all these 5-star, 18-star. This is what stars are. Who really gives a crap? Nobody cares. Everyone wants to see Tito. Everyone wants Tito's takes. That's what the bottom line is.
What a terrible take.
Because Hot Toilet Take Tito said so. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. I got to go get my kid from the bus.
Oh, what a domesticated guy. I got to go get my kid from the bus stop. Get out of here with this stuff. Nobody wants to hear from you anyway, Eric. No one wants to hear from you either, Shawn.
I got to go too.
Time. That's what they want. They want Tito. That's all they care about.
Make this guy as hard as you can.
Did we just lose the volume on Tito?
He got potted down.
He has been potted down. That's amazing. All right, well, while he's still screaming, I'll remind everyone to hit the like button on your way out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also post a comment on this video. We can chat with you there, and you can also enter to become our very first fan of the week. Hit the notification bell as well, so you can get the show as soon as we drop it. Follow us on Twitter at Gambling Dads. For Shawn, for the Screaming Tito, I'm Eric. This has been Domesticated Gamblers. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's cash.